Hi everybody, Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey here. The weather is so nice, I decided to take the show on the road. We'll talk about where I am, why I'm here, and the forecast just ahead.
A jail escapee is back in jail after getting free from a transport van. We'll show you how deputies made sure he wasn't on the run for long.
And the city of Louisville is finalizing plans to host the thousands of people planning to pay their final respects to boxing legend Muhammad Ali.
This is WKYT News at 4.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome to WKYT News at 4. I'm Amber Philpott alongside Andrea Walker. It is warm outside, but still a nice day to be out there.
It is. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is getting a chance to enjoy it up close and person today. He's live at the University Club of Kentucky for the St. Joseph Foundation Golf Tournament. Chris, how's it going?
You know what? It is absolutely awesome out here. I know, tough assignment that I've drawn on a gorgeous day like this. 27th annual St. Joseph Hospital Foundation. They've raised right at $2.1 million through the years, and we're hoping to add to that today. And behind me, you're seeing a chopper. And you're maybe thinking, why do we have a chopper on a golf course? You know what? We're going to show you why coming up here in just a little bit. We've got a big ball drop that will be underway as well. You see some folks out here doing a little practice on the chipping. Trust me, my game could use a little work out there as well. Let's talk about the weather, and it's gorgeous across central and eastern Kentucky. Those temperatures today hitting the upper 70s to low 80s across the entire area. Look at that live sky cam. Gorgeous conditions now across the city of Lexington. And again, low 80s into many areas. You can probably hear the winds gusting up a little bit today. We've got a cold front to our north. Defender Radar Network has nothing going on locally, but we have that front coming in from northwest to southeast, and that is actually going to knock our temperatures down in a big way coming up over the next few days. When I come back here in about 15 minutes, we'll talk about a blast of September temperatures on the way, and then also, guys, the potential for a mini heat wave. It's a busy 7-day forecast, as you can imagine. Live here from the golf course. We'll send it back inside.
All right, thank you, Chris. He managed to escape, but a jail inmate didn't stay on the run for long.
The Garrett County Sheriff says David Hall kicked out the back window of a transport van while being taken to the Lincoln County Jail. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy shows us how authorities quickly recaptured him in our top story at 4.
The sheriff says David Hall busted out of the back of a transport van at this intersection. Hall, we're told, had concealed a handcuff key in his sandals, and at some point during the transfer back to the Lincoln County Jail, he unlocked the shackles on his hands and feet. Deputies say he then busted out the back window of their transport van, ripped off his orange jumpsuit, and ran toward a nearby trailer park. They were able to catch him a short time later.
He was belligerent. I don't know how combative, because, you know, fairly quickly several units got there. But once he was apprehended again, searched, they found the handcuff key that he used to escape.
State police are now handling the case. The sheriff says they will likely file criminal mischief and escape charges. In Lincoln County, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
11 other inmates were in the van when Hall escaped. They were taken back to the jail. Investigators are still trying to figure out how Hall came into possession of that handcuff key.
The city of Louisville is preparing to host the final goodbye to boxing legend Muhammad Ali. More than 30,000 people are expected to attend 2 services in Ali's honor. The first will be an Islamic prayer program Thursday at Freedom Hall. The second will be a memorial service at the KFC Yum Center. Louisville's mayor says the city is prepared to handle the large crowds who want to pay their final respects to Ali.
We're used to handling large events here in the community, the Kentucky Derby in particular. We have 175,000 people descend upon the city that day and moving traffic through the city, then also handling dignitaries and VIP throughout the world. Obviously, we'll be coordinating that with the various state and federal agencies as well.
Tonight there will be a walk from Central High School to the Ali Center at 6. There will also be a service outside his childhood home at 6:30. Today, the mayor also announced a children's festival called I Am Ali will be held on Wednesday. No charges will be filed against the parents of a boy who ended up in the Cincinnati Zoo's gorilla exhibit. The Hamilton County prosecutor announced the decision this afternoon, saying the mother was tending to her other children when the 3-year-old ran off. The zoo shot and killed the gorilla to save the boy. The gorilla exhibit will reopen tomorrow with improved barriers. We are working on a number of other stories for you on WKYT starting at 4:30.
Our Sam Dick joins us now from the newsroom with a look at some of the news in progress. Hello, Sam.
Good afternoon. A man accused of a double murder headed to court this morning. Police arrested 34-year-old Bradley Lawson over the weekend. He's accused of killing Donnie and Sharon Jackson at their home on Slate Ridge in Laurel County in March of last year. Police say Lawson set their home on fire after the murders to try and cover up the crime. We'll show you what happened in court on WKYT News at 4:30. The trial began this afternoon for a man accused in a Lexington murder case. A jury will decide if Mark Taylor is guilty of killing Alex Johnson in December of 2013. Another man, Timothy Ballard, pled guilty in the case. He's expected to testify against Taylor. The trial could last 1 to 2 weeks. We will hear from both sides on what they had to say to the jury today on WKYT News at 5. It's a controversial treatment. About 10,000 of the estimated 40,000 Kentuckians dealing with drug addiction are treated with methadone. But is it helping or hurting the state's drug epidemic? We visit a clinic to get an answer, and a WKYT investigation coming up on WKYT News at 4:30 and 6. That's a look at some of the news in progress. Andrea and Amber, back to you.
Sam, thank you. Now to some stories making headlines across the nation at 4. Hillary Clinton picked up big wins in Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands this weekend, putting her one step closer to locking up the Democratic nomination.
Meanwhile, a new voice is criticizing Donald Trump's comments about a federal judge. Danielle Nottingham is in Los Angeles following campaign 2016.
Bernie Sanders says he's going to pull off an upset in California Tuesday.
If the turnout is very high, I think we will win by big numbers.
Hillary Clinton is now just 23 delegates shy of the number needed to win the nomination, which she'll likely reach before the polls close in the West. Just don't tell Sanders the race is almost over.
We have 475 pledged delegates coming up. And my job in the next 24 hours is to do everything that I can to win those delegates.
With the delegate math firmly on her side, Clinton is using rallies like these to focus her attacks on the presumptive GOP nominee, Donald Trump.
Donald Trump has run a campaign of insults. So anyone who supported me, anyone who has supported Senator Sanders has a lot at stake in this election in preventing Donald Trump from being our president.
Trump has been on the defense after he claimed federal judge Gonzalo Curiel was biased in his judgments against Trump University's fraud case because of his Mexican heritage.
I say he's got bias. I want to build a wall. I'm going to build a wall.
Monday, Nebraska Republican Senator Ben Sasse tweeted, saying someone can't do a specific job because of his or her race is the literal definition of racism. Sasse has been an outspoken critic of Trump and says he's considering voting for the Libertarian candidate this fall. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders will both wrap up their California campaign events tonight with dueling concerts. Sanders' event will feature the Dave Matthews Band, while the Clinton rally will have Christina Aguilera and Stevie Wonder.
Welcome back in. We have all experienced those annoying robocalls. Now there's a plan to stop them.
That begins today's Money Watch. New York Senator Chuck Schumer is introducing legislation that would require phone companies to offer a free service to block those calls from bill collectors and politicians. Some phone companies already offer the service.
If you fly Delta Airlines, you are about to get an upgrade. The carrier will soon begin offering in-flight entertainment free of charge on equipped aircraft on domestic and international flights. Previously, Delta only offered a portion of its entertainment options for free on domestic flights. Delta said the free entertainment will start July 1st on board about 90% of its planes. Movies, shows, music, and games will be available on seat-back screens or through a passenger's personal mobile device through onboard Wi-Fi. Samsung is the first to announce their new wireless earbuds. The Gear Icon X doesn't attach to your phone or each other and comes in a carrying case that charges them when not in use. The earbuds cost $199 and will go on sale later this year.
Walmart stores will soon be testing out grocery delivery. The nation's largest retailer is teaming up with ride-hailing companies Uber and Lyft to try out the service in Phoenix and Denver. No word on if or when the service will expand to other cities across the country. Car dealerships of the future may not have actual cars. The Wall Street Journal reports Cadillac wants to set up virtual showrooms where buyers would learn about a car through a virtual reality headset. Very interesting.